Hi, Bianca. Can we talk for a minute?
Hi. Well, I'm at work now. Is it urgent?
Well, I heard a rumor, and I wanted to address it with you. Have you started seeing someone?
I meant to discuss this with you, Ava. I've been seeing someone named Thomas.
Oh, why didn't you tell me sooner? I think it would have been better to be upfront considering what we've been through.
I understand it's a delicate situation, but I needed to move forward, and I thought it was the right time.
Oh, do you believe that's what my son would have wanted? He cared about you a lot, Bianca.
I loved him deeply. His passing was incredibly painful for me, but I've gone through my grieving process, and I believe he would want us to find happiness in our lives.
Ugh, I can't fathom moving on without my son. How long have you been dating this Thomas?
It's a relatively recent development. I want to assure you, though, that I always remember and honor Danny. We're still family, just as he wished.
I just don't think it's appropriate to start dating so soon. You're an attractive and intelligent woman, and I worry about people taking advantage of you, especially considering your financial situation. Could Thomas be one of them?
I appreciate your concern, Ava, but Thomas is not like that. Anyway, I have to get back to work. We can discuss this more at dinner.
I am so sorry to disturb you again when you're at work, but I have to tell you something.
Don't worry. I'm on my lunch break now. What's the matter?
I want to apologize for my behavior yesterday. I shouldn't have accused you of moving on. It's only natural.
Thank you. I know how gloomy grief can be, and that's why we wanted to protect you at all this time. I'll still be there for you even if I have a new boyfriend.
Yes, and I appreciate all the help you gave us this past year. But, like you said, I think it's time we move on.
What do you mean?
I need you to move out ASAP. My daughter is moving back in with me, and it would be too crowded for all of us in that small house. I'm sure you can understand.
Wow. What are you saying? You're kicking me out?
Not kick you out. I'm asking you to find a new place and move. Isabel is coming from Europe tomorrow, and she needs a place to stay. I can't say no to my own daughter, can I?
Have you forgotten all that I've done for you? The bills, the maintenance of the house, and the mortgage I paid for it without ever asking you for a dime. You can't kick me out of that house. You're talking nonsense.
Of course I can. It's my son's house, after all. It was your choice to come live with us after he died. And I let you because I felt sorry for you. But now you said you've moved on. So, go live your happy life elsewhere.
I can't believe how ungrateful you are. Did you pity me? I felt sorry for you because you had no money to support yourself. So, I helped you with everything you asked me. I even hired a team to repaint the whole fucking house because you didn't like the green shade it had.
If you knew you were going to throw all that help back into my face, I wouldn't have asked you. Clearly, you didn't do it out of the goodness of your heart.
You sound insane. Think before you speak, will you? You don't want to say something you'll regret later.
Oh, I won't regret it. Truth is, you're a nobody in this family. As soon as my daughter comes back, we'll be on track with our expenses and you can leave.
Oh, so you were just using me for my money? Your affectionate mother-in-law attitude was just an act.
When you were deserving, I showed you my good side. But you're getting on my nerves, so don't expect me to be diplomatic.
You were never diplomatic. You just wore a mask all along. Never mind. I'm not moving out. That house legally belongs to me.
What do you mean?
Hey, love. Can I stay over at your place tonight?
Sweetheart, you never need to ask. You know you're always welcome here. How was your day? Did the presentation go all right?
Not really. I got caught up in a tough conversation with my mother-in-law. She's really upset about us being together, going on about how it's disgraceful for a widow to move on so soon. It's been a year, and today she dropped the bomb that her daughter is coming back and told me to leave the house.
That sounds incredibly tough. Why did you even tell her about us? I thought we were keeping it under wraps for now.
It was me. She found out on her own. Apparently, there's some gossip going around and nothing feels private anymore.
Maybe she saw something on social media. Did you post something?
No, she's not on Instagram, she's Facebook. But it doesn't matter. I need to figure out how to tell her that Danny left the house to me, and I want to start a new family. Any thoughts?
I doubt meeting me would help. She already has this idea that I'm after your money, like you wouldn't see through that. Maybe time will change her perspective.
It might. She needs to see we have a genuine connection. Right now, she thinks I'm making a mistake. I'll think about it tonight. My mind's a mess.
Take your time, love. I'm making dinner for us. Can't wait to see you soon.
Hey, I assume Mom told you to move out. Why didn't you come to pack your bags last night? Do you think this is a joke? Anyway, I handled it for you. I threw all your stuff out. If you come by now, you can still find them lying by the roadside.
You did what? Just who do you think you are? You ditched your family when they needed you most and left them without the means to support themselves. It was me who helped them all this time. If you dare touch my stuff, I'll report you to the police.
Listen here, old hag. My brother's house is my family's property. Unlike you. My mother and I are part of that family. You no longer have rights to the house. And we no longer need your help either. I have loads of money, and I got myself the best job ever. My position as a marketing executive earns me more than I care to count. You should just walk off.
You and your mom, you're both mind-blowingly selfish. You got some nerve to come rubbing your job into my face after I paid all the bills and the mortgage for the house.
Can you stop complaining already? Just follow the facts. I'm moving in, you're moving out. Got it?
Where were you all this time? You didn't care to check on your family after Dan's passing? Not even once.
It's none of your business. Besides, you're not that big of a help to my family. Mom had to do the maintenance and the yard work all by herself. She told me how you'd come home late at night and not do any house chores. She told me how you'd come home late at night and not do any house chores.
Well, someone has to make the money that goes towards maintenance costs, right? Your father's pension is a fraction of what they need to survive. She can't expect me to do cleaning and go grocery shopping when I work 6 days out of 7. It's the least she could do.
People are not your servants. You treated Mom like one, but that's the end of it.
I did not. I respect her mother and always help with cooking and other tasks when I'm at home, which is more than you ever did for your family.
Oh, please. Making an omelet doesn't count as house chores anyway. We don't need your pity money anymore. So come get your stuff and leave us alone.
That house doesn't belong to you. Danny let your parents stay there because they have nowhere else to go. He had such a big heart, unlike you.
What do you mean? It doesn't belong to us? It's under my brother's name.
You got that right, but you don't know the full story. I'm going to explain it all to you this evening.
What are you talking about? Tell me.
Some of us have real jobs to do. Bye. You actually threw my stuff out? How dare you do that after all I've done for you? My clothes and shoes are thrown everywhere. You didn't even bother to put them properly in my suitcases.
It wasn't me. Isabel took the initiative. She needed space to arrange her own things now that she's moved in with me.
And you let her? Just like that? You know, I could have you reported for unacceptable behavior. The only thing that's keeping me is the fact that you're Daniel's mother.
Don't be so dramatic, Chrissy. All of your stuff is out there in the front yard. I told you to come pick your stuff. But you didn't come last night. Isabel arrived early in the morning and started unpacking.
I can't believe I wanted to take you out and introduce you to Thomas.
I can't believe you thought I wanted to meet him. Keep your new lovebird to yourself and definitely don't bring him to the house.
I've had enough. You need to move out of my house.
This is our house. You have no right.
You're wrong. When we got married, Danny put me as the co-owner of the house. And in case one of us died, the house belonged entirely to the other. So, technically, this house is now under my name and I can kick you out. Not the other way around.
Danny never told me about this. You're lying. He wouldn't leave the house to a woman he just met.
I was his wife, not just any woman. The house is my property, and I have the documents to prove it. But I am not a witch, so I won't throw you on the streets right now. I give you 3 days to pack everything and move. It shouldn't take you that long since I bought most of the things in the house.
Why can't you just leave us alone? Do you think Danny would want us wrestling over this house? It's a tatty house. I'm sure the mortgage isn't even that high.
How can you talk about mortgage payments when you don't earn anything? You know, there are all kinds of casual jobs you could do. Post office clerk, vendor. Why don't you try to make your own money for once?
A woman my age can do better than a shitty clerk position. But don't need to because my daughter supports me and she doesn't ask anything in return like you did.
I ask you the bare minimum and you still complain. Typical of you, but it doesn't matter. Pack your stuff and leave ASAP. I'll come back to check that the house is empty on Friday.
You wish.
I'm sorry, we haven't had the chance to plan our wedding, especially with everything going on.
Don't stress about it. Once we sort out the house issue, we'll have all the time in the world for wedding plans.
I just want this whole situation to be over. It's stressing me out more than I can express.
What if I ask my sister to check out a few venues for us in the meantime?
No, I'd rather handle it myself. I don't want any family involvement in my affairs anymore.
Babe, you know my sister is nothing like your sister-in-law, right?
I do, but I prefer to handle the wedding details on my own. Tomorrow after work, I'll check on the house. Ava and Isabel should be gone by then.
I'm not sure they took you seriously. Should I come with you?
No, I can handle it. I have all the necessary documents, and when they see Danny's signature, they'll have to back off.
Why are you so resistant to accepting help?
Dealing with Isabel is draining me. Please don't add to the stress. She disappeared for a year, and now she's back with a ton of money in her accounts. It just doesn't make sense. And where did she get this sudden marketing job?
Well, someone with a lot of experience in a similar role can jump straight into an executive position. We just hired someone like that for our company, who worked with luxury brands in Europe.
Wait, someone from Europe recently became your executive. This sounds like Isabel, but it can't be.
I have a subordinate overseeing her. I haven't met her personally. Let me check and get back to you. Babe, I have the information. The new executive's name is Isabel Sanders.
I can't believe this. It is her, Daniel's sister. But she never even worked in marketing. I remember Danny told me she was a job hopper, never keeping a job for more than a few months.
If she lied in her resume to the HR team, we have to fire her right away.
You'd better do that. She's a manipulative person.
We're having a cocktail party tonight with clients from the fashion industry. I'll talk with her and try to find out more before laying her off.
I'm right outside the house. Have you left the keys in the mailbox?
You have some nerve to come back here, you sneaky liar.
What are you babbling about?
My boss tried to fire me yesterday after his boss told him I faked my resume. Of course, I convinced him not to.
Get to the point.
Then I found out that the big boss is engaged to no other than you, the girl who is supposed to be mourning my dead brother.
Daniel would be very happy to see that I found someone new. Obviously, you don't know your brother at all, because you spent most of your time hooking up with men and hopping from one shitty job to another.
At least I'm not a liar. You told my mom you just started seeing this man. And now she learns that you are, in fact, engaged. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I only told her that because I didn't want to hurt her, but I have nothing to feel ashamed of. On the other hand, you should feel more than sorry for what you did.
What are you talking about?
I know your secret. I finally understand why you ran off to Europe for a whole year. You're unbelievable.
You're hallucinating. There's no secret. I went to Europe for a work thing.
Yeah, sure, if you want to call it that. Ava is blind not to see how wicked you are.
Shut up, Bianca. You're jealous because I have more money than you. And I can support my family. They don't need you anymore.
Oh, really? And what will happen now that you are jobless?
I just told you that I haven't been fired.
Don't worry. My fiancé will take care of that. But I'm wondering what I should do about this new information I have for you.
What information? Hello?
Ava, I talked with the broker charged with Danny's properties.
So, why are you bothering me with this?
It turns out your daughter ran away with Daniel's shares profit after the funeral. That's why she's been doing God knows what in Europe. And that's why you were left without any money. Danny intended for those shares to be yours. And you could have made a fortune if Isabel hadn't stolen them from you.
You're talking nonsense. Why should I believe you? You lied to me in the face about Thomas and how you barely knew him. But you were damn engaged to the man.
That's a whole different subject.
It's not, really.
Please focus. We have an urgent problem at hand. Did you receive any notification about an existing shares account in your name?
There was a letter I received a few months after the funeral, but thought it was a scam and ignored it.
Do you still have it?
I can't remember. I might have thrown it away.
This is really important. Can you search for it?
I can, but I'm not sure I want to. It's curious how you got interested in Daniel's shares all of a sudden.
I'm doing this for your own benefit. I don't want any money from his shares. Stop being so ungrateful.
Don't talk to me like I'm some spoiled child. And stop harassing me. Isabel would never do such a thing. I raised her better than that.
Did you? From where I'm standing, she seems like a reckless teenager trapped in an adult's body.
Don't patronize my daughter like you're some kind of saint.
Can't you see how evil she is? And rest assured, she will run away again as soon as things go sideways. The broker will seize her shares and she'll be poor again. Who will pay the mortgage, the house maintenance, and your day-to-day costs?
She wouldn't ditch me again. Besides, she has a good paying job now.
Not anymore. She lied in her resume, so Thomas kicked her out.
Thomas? What does he have to do with all this?
She worked for his company. But as soon as she started ranting about how she deceived Daniel's broker, she was laid off.
I can't believe you would put your sister-in-law in such a horrible position. You are the evil one. You're so obsessed with this house that you're making things up about my daughter. But I won't fall for it.
Fine, have it your way. But don't come crawling back to me.
What did you do to my daughter?
Only what she deserved.
She's all tense, throbbing back and forth around the house and staring at her phone.
No wonder by now all her shares should be annulled. So she's basically poor and she will be summoned to the court soon.
This has gotten out of hand. I can't believe you would do that to your husband's sister.
She stole all the money Daniel had left you and you're still siding with her? There's something wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong with putting your family first. But you would never understand that because you were never really part of this family.
Your daughter had betrayed you while I helped you and paid your costs. Yet you preferred to cast me away as if I was a nobody? I'm warning you. I'll come with my lawyer and the police to evict you.
Don't be so silly. You wouldn't throw your mother-in-law in the street, would you?
After you and Isabel repeatedly lashed out at me, I'll have no regrets about kicking you out of my house.
Oh, Chrissy, you can't do that for God's sake. You can't leave us homeless.
Oh, so now you ask for my pity after you called me a liar and told me to leave you alone?
I'm not asking for your pity. But don't you have common sense? The broker sees the shares and will barely have money for next month's bills.
I don't care anymore, Ava. I wanted to restore the shared money to you, but you refused. Now deal with the consequences. I'm asking you one last time. Gather your stuff and leave.
And where are we supposed to go? Our relatives live hundreds of miles away. You know that.
Considering your budget, I don't think you can afford even a studio on the outskirts of the city. Maybe you will get lucky and find a derelict, unfurnished apartment.
Ugh, you're the worst.
Babe, are you sure you want to do this?
100%. I'm sick of Isabel and Ava ruining our plans with the house.
But Isabel might be doing a couple of years in prison. Are you sure you want that on your conscience?
Maybe that time spent in a cell will teach her that stealing, lying, and faking documents is wrong.
It's not my place to say this, but what would Daniel think?
He'd want me to do the right thing. This way, the house will be ours to live in.
Okay. Meet you in front of the house at 18?
Yes, I'll go pick up the guy who will replace the locks and then head to the house. You won't believe the nightmare that unfolded last night.
Oh my god, are you okay? Did Isabel come back?
No, but she stooped to a new low. She hired some reckless teenager to wreak havoc on her home. He smashed windows, trashed the lawn, and spray painted obscenities on the walls.
What? That's insane! Are you safe? Did they do anything to you? I'm on my way.
Thomas, calm down. I'm okay. I spotted the vandal just in time when he was targeting one of the windows in my bedroom. Then I called the cops, and they took him in for questioning.
Thank goodness you're all right. Isabel hired him to do this?
According to the kid, it was a tall brunette woman in her late 20s who's put him up to it.
That's definitely her style.
Between stealing Danny's shares, deceiving his broker, and now vandalizing my home, she's in deep trouble.
Why don't you come stay with me until we sort things out with the house?
I can't let her win, Thomas.
It's not about winning. It's about your safety and mental well-being. You've been through so much stress lately. Let me take you out for dinner tonight, okay?
Maybe the Italian restaurant?
Perfect. I'll pick you up at 8.
See you then. You've reached the bottom, Isabel. You're despicable. How could you use that teenage boy for your revenge plan?
I didn't use him. I paid him for it.
Wow. You still have some cash left around?
So sad you won't be able to sleep in that house anytime soon.
It's not that hard to have a couple of windows replaced. You just accelerated my renovation plans. Tell me about your new place. Is it as gloomy and scanty as I imagine?
It's none of your business. But don't think you can rob me of my house and get away with it. But don't think you can rob me of my house and my job and get away with it.
You were already on track with losing these things.
I won't let you be happy in that house. You don't deserve it. My brother always had it going for him. Good paying job, wife, and I had nothing. And when I finally got on my feet, his wife came to knock me over.
It's not too late to make a life for yourself, but you'll have some serious atonement to do.
I won't go to court no matter how many times they summon me.
I wouldn't be so sure. Ava, I want you to get it right. Don't ever come near me and my new husband again. Barging in like that to ruin our dinner rehearsal with your pitiful statements. What good did you think would come out of it?
You ruined my life. Everything my son left me, you stole away. You were hungry for money. I wanted to show your so-called friends the real you.
You only managed to be escorted to your lousy studio by the police. And you're getting a fine too. But how did you know the location of the party? Have you been spying on me?
Oh, please. I have better things to do than play stupid spying games.
Then why did you even bother to come uninvited to my rehearsal dinner anyway? Be prepared to receive an invoice for the wine bottles and glasses you broke.
What? You can't expect me to pay for those. Your guests were the ones who dropped them.
After you scared everyone with your shouting and chaotic behavior? Don't worry. I'm sure your daughter will help you pay the invoice.
Your irony is in bad taste. I don't understand what my son saw in you at all.
I tell you what, a woman is able to support herself. I always gain my own money in the relationship, and we paid for everything together. He offered a down payment for the house. but I paid for the mortgage.
You witch! You wanted to kick us out this whole time.
Eventually, but I would have helped you buy a new place. Only if you didn't treat me like a garbage. Now, stay away from my house and my family. I mean it. If you come near us again, I'll have you arrested.
You're not gonna get off that easy after what you've done to us.
After that, Ava made several desperate attempts to sabotage our wedding. So I decided to seek a restraining order. Eventually, she backed off. Likely because she was preoccupied with the struggle to pay rent on that rundown apartment. Soon after, her financial troubles escalated, and she ended up in a state-funded old people's home. I never crossed paths with her again. Isabel, on the other hand, faced the consequences of her actions and was sentenced to 3 years in prison for stealing her brother's shares. The money from those shares was rightfully returned to Thomas and me. With those funds, we could clear the remaining mortgage and transform the house into a warm and welcoming home. Finally, Thomas and I were able to celebrate our wedding and move beyond the shadows of grief. I can't help but believe that this is what Daniel would have wanted for me.